Hello, everybody. Welcome to our program. This is English Digest, and I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. Welcome.
It's our career unit for the month of June. And, of course, many of our dear listeners are students, and you're probably still trying to figure out what you want to do with your future. Kind of interesting thing about that, though, is because everybody who's choosing a career has never actually experienced that career before. So everybody's kind of guessing.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's what they're going to do. So, yes, if you're confused, don't worry about it. It's perfectly natural. Nobody really knows if your career choice is exactly going to make you happy. But maybe you might want to consider choosing a career in weddings, okay? People do get married still nowadays, even though lots of people don't want to. But there are still quite a few people who do tie the knot. They walk down the aisle. And, of course, we need to have people to make those arrangements so there are some career possibilities in this field.
There are. It's a pretty popular industry here in Taiwan. I've passed by a lot of wedding shops, I call them, where they help you plan. They make sure you have the right dress. A lot of the wedding dresses and dresses that are worn during that ceremony are rented, and they're beautiful. People really like to have a beautiful wedding to remember here in Taiwan. It's a tough job, though. I know from my own experience. My sister was a wedding planner, and I would often help her, and it was exhausting. But it can also be a wonderful career for people who not only love weddings, but like to design. They like to create. They're very just creative people, and they've got a big imagination, but they're also good organizers. If you're not a good organizer, this isn't a career for you. Let's go ahead and listen to today's lesson and then talk about this particular career, that of wedding planner. A perfect wedding is a celebration of happiness and commitment. However, organizing a traditional wedding with all its customs and procedures can be both time-consuming and exhausting. What's more, contemporary couples often prioritize unique and creative wedding experiences over conventional rituals. Therefore, hiring professional and experienced wedding planners has become a popular choice. These experts not only assist couples in the comprehensive preparation for their weddings, but also simplify the planning process to meet all the specific expectations. The role of a wedding planner can be divided into 3 vital phases: pre-wedding, during the wedding, and post-wedding. Before the wedding, they are responsible for planning and preparing the event. This includes managing the budget, coordinating with vendors, arranging rehearsals, and balancing the opinions and needs of the couple and their families. On the wedding day, they strictly oversee the proceedings, clarify roles, and sometimes even act as the host, all to ensure every detail runs smoothly. Moreover, the planner's job doesn't end with the wedding. Afterward, they keep track of payments to vendors or partners to make sure all financial matters are settled. Wedding planners are crucial for turning couples' dream weddings into reality. If you're interested in pursuing this career, how can you get started? Firstly, you can explore courses offered by wedding consultant companies. These courses provide valuable hands-on experience and industry expertise. For a deeper understanding of both the theory and practice of wedding planning, you can consider university extension courses. These programs typically offer a broader knowledge base, helping you establish a solid professional foundation. Furthermore, there are easily accessible online courses in wedding planning, offering flexible learning at your own pace. Becoming a wedding planner is challenging yet highly rewarding, as it allows you to play an important role in crafting the most memorable moments in people's lives.
All right, everybody, it's time for us to discuss the contents of today's lesson. we're going to be crafting love stories. We're going to be involved with love stories, and we're talking about being behind the scenes with wedding planners. Okay, we're going to talk about this possible career choice to be a wedding planner. And as you said, of course, being a wedding planner can be probably quite difficult. I can imagine, I've never had this experience myself before, but I can imagine that you're going to be dealing with people with unreasonable demands because a wedding is like a lifetime experience and they want it to be just right. And you've got two different families who might have two different opinions about how the procedure should go. And of course, the bride has her ideas, the groom has his ideas. And I've also heard many stories where people who are engaged to get married actually called it off because the process of arranging the wedding was just too stressful for them.
Oh, I could see that happening. People kind of freak out, they get too stressed out. They have too much pressure on them, and sometimes that can really ruin the relationship. That would be sad, though. So a perfect wedding is a celebration of happiness and commitment, which is true. However, organizing a traditional wedding with all its customs and procedures can be both time-consuming and exhausting. That is also very true. So if you're talking about customs, you're talking about ways of, doing something that are set in tradition that you've done for a long time. It's a custom here when people get married to have the wedding banquet where, people sit around these round tables and the bride and groom are toasted and you have, a multi-course dinner. It seemed like I was eating forever at some of these wedding banquets with friends who were getting married. And but that's one of the customs here. So if you're going to be looking into this as a career, you need to know a lot about the customs, at least in Taiwan, and what people might expect, and the procedures, how something is organized and then put into practice. That's a procedure. What happens first, second, third, things like that. Doing all this stuff can be time-consuming. Time-consuming just means takes up a lot of time, and it does. You have to spend a lot of time, and also you're constantly being called by either the groom or the bride, asking about things. It's a nonstop job. That's why it's exhausting. Very tiring.
Exactly, but it might be challenging and it might be rewarding, as we're going to talk about later on in our lesson. What's more, or in addition to the things we just mentioned, contemporary couples or modern couples often prioritize unique and creative wedding experiences over conventional rituals. I can understand this because, of course, we got modern people who probably want to outdo their friends or they want to outdo other people by having a wedding that's very special or very unique, a kind of wedding that hasn't been done before. It would probably be easier to have a traditional wedding and you just do it by the book, the script or whatever. It should be pretty easy. But no, we've got modern people who want to be different. They want to be unique and they want attention. So, of course, they're going to want some unique and creative wedding experiences. So they'll prioritize those things, which means you decide which is more important and which is less important. You need to prioritize things in your life, like your health, your career, and stuff like that. You need to decide which is more important and which is less important. And, of course, they want to prioritize those creative weddings over conventional rituals. A ritual is similar to a custom, but a ritual is something that you do. We have the ritual every year here in Taiwan of celebrating Chinese New Year, or the ritual of having a barbecue at Mid-Autumn Festival. Those are kind of customs or rituals that people enjoy every year.
Or rituals can be things that are very serious or important, solemn events. Maybe it's a wedding ceremony when you actually exchange those vows of promising to love and take care of each other forever. Or it could be a baptism in a church where somebody is baptized and is then a new follower of that particular religion. Those are rituals, and they're usually performed according to the way they've always been done in the past. So there's usually an order to them. So those are rituals. Therefore, it says, hiring professional and experienced wedding planners. Notice it says experienced here, so you got to get some experience, guys, if you want to be hired. It's become a popular choice around the world. So these experts, because they've done this for a while, they're professional, they're experienced, they know what they're doing. These experts not only help or assist couples in the comprehensive preparation for their weddings, but they also simplify the planning process to meet all the specific expectations. When something's comprehensive, it just means it includes everything. They've taken everything into account. So if you're going on a tour with a group and they provide comprehensive coverage, it just means they're going to take care of everything for you. You pay them one fee, but then they pay everybody else. Everything's included if it's comprehensive. So here, they're going to help you not just prepare well, but they'll help you make sure you hit all the specific things that are important. So if you drop the ball, which means you forget something, they'll help you pick it up. They'll help you remember things that you may forget just because you're so busy or you're focused on getting married and you're not actually thinking clearly, which happens to couples.
Right. There are a lot of aspects to a wedding, of course. You need to prepare the food for the banquet. You need to arrange the banquet hall. How many tables are you going to have? You need to arrange a pastor if it's going to be a Christian religion. Who's going to give speeches? Who's going to do the photography? What's going to happen after the wedding? And we'll talk about those details as our lesson continues. So therefore, hiring professional experienced wedding planners is a popular choice because you need to have a comprehensive program and you want to simplify the planning process to meet all the specific expectations. To simplify something means to just to make it simple and understandable because, of course, you've got two families involved with this and it needs to be understandable to everybody. It should not be confusing. Otherwise, you're going to have big arguments.
Ooh, not a good thing. Well, right now we're going to listen to some more explanation from our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be right back.
听众朋友，大家好，我是安娜。当然，结婚对我们来说还是很遥远的事。可是，未来当你要结婚的时候，你会聘一个婚礼顾问吗？你会希望有一个人专门帮你设计你的梦想婚礼吗？我们今天要来看的就是婚礼顾问这个职业。不过，文章设计成篇章结构。那这个篇章结构，如果要看它的话，我们就要把整体的文章做一个结构性的分析。尤其是我们在说做篇章结构的时候，通常还是会先针对选项做一个了解，因为选项里面其实会有关键字，它会暗示你这个答案大概会在文章的什么地方。比如说像 A 选项一开始就有一个转成词语叫做 therefore， 因此啦。因此是什么意思？也就是 A 选项之前会铺陈一些情况，甚至是告诉你有什么样的原因，所以 A 选项才会出现这样的文意。聘雇专业的有经验的婚礼顾问就变成大家很受欢迎的选择啦。换句话说， A 选项之前一定会说明为什么大家现在都会希望能够雇个婚礼顾问，然后来创造自己的婚礼。好，那 B 选项又有什么样的关键字呢？ B 选项的关键字就在句首的代名词 these programs。 那这时候你就想说program 到底是什么意思是节目的意思吗？还是什么意思？其实 program 也有课程的意思哦。如果你不知道的话，其实在句子当中也会有一些暗示。比如说 these programs， 这些课程 B 选项通常都会提供比较广的一个知识基础，逗点之后 helping， 不管怎么样的文法分析，只要看到 helping 就是帮助啦，帮助你建立一个很坚实的专业的基础。好，所以会有哪些课程会提供很多的知识，让你有专业基础呢？那这些专业基础是要你做什么东西呢？重点是 B 选项的前面会提到有什么机构提供了哪些课程。好，再来 C 选项呢，又出现了一个转成词语叫做 moreover。 这个 moreover 就是除此之外，针对同样的主题再提供更多不同的看法，或者是更多细节的陈述。所以除此之外 婚礼顾问的工作并不会随着婚礼结束而迈入尾声哦。那换句话说 ，C 选项之前应该就是在陈述婚礼顾问到底做些什么，甚至到了婚礼结束之后还有工作要做。再来 D 选项最后一个选项，它就是很明白的一种平铺直述的陈述句。基本上呢，婚礼顾问他的角色就是被分成3个阶段 ，3 vital phases。这3个阶段就是婚礼之前、婚礼的时候跟婚礼之后。你看到 D 选项，你有没有发现 D 选项应该会走在 C 选项的前面呢？看完这4个选项之后，我们大概就会有个概念。等一下我们看文章的时候，看到某一些文意，应该就会很敏感，会出现什么样的答案哦。接下来我们来赶快看第一段一开始的时候，他先告诉我们，完美的婚礼啊，其实就是一个幸福跟承诺的一种庆祝。当然啦，可是第2句一开始就是 however， 又出现重点啦。我们说转折之后常常都会有重点。然而要办一个婚礼，真的是，如果要传统型的 traditional， 真的是很累啦。那要不然呢？如果你要用新的婚礼的话，一定要有很独特啊，又要很有创意啊。所以不管你是要照着以前的人走，还是你要创新，总而言之就是办婚礼就是很难的一件事情。因为我们在第2句看到最后面的 time consuming， 传统婚礼耗时 exhausting 又很累。第3句 what's more， 除此之外 contemporary couples， 现代的婚礼又希望能独特一点 unique creative， 所以总而言之就是很困难的话，因此就是要聘雇这一个所谓的 wedding planners。 那除了文意上的推测之外啊，因为这篇章结构牵扯到上下文嘛，有时候看一下后面那一句话是不是可以跟前面这句话有连结通顺的文意关系，也是很棒的一个这个参考点。所以我们在第1题之后看 These experts， 这些专家不只是帮助大家可以准备婚礼，还简化规划的过程，满足所有特定的期望。的确第1题就是在讲大家都要雇用婚礼这个顾问的原因，然后这些专家可以做一些什么事。所以第1题答案应该是选 A， 没有错。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The time has come for us to continue with our discussion for today. We talked about the first paragraph. We talked about being a wedding organizer or a wedding planner. And of course, it's kind of difficult but challenging. You have to deal with all the different customs. Making these preparations can take a lot of time. It can be time-consuming. And of course, nowadays it's more complicated because modern couples want to prioritize unique wedding experiences, and they don't want to have the ritualistic weddings like they had in the past, and maybe their parents will object to that. No, you got to have a traditional wedding. What's all this modern stuff with a punk rock band or something? That's ridiculous. That's silly. And of course, you need to assist the couples, and it needs to be comprehensive. You need to hit all the bases. You need to take care of every little detail, but also you want to simplify the process so that everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah, Tom just used that expression, you want to touch all the bases or hit all the bases, which comes from baseball. You have to actually step on the bag for the score to count. But if you don't touch all the bases, you might let something slip through the cracks. So if something slips through the cracks, that's also kind of a slang phrase, informal idiom. It means you let something, you forget something, which you should have remembered, but you let it slip through the cracks. That's why you need a really good wedding planner. They'll help you remember things that you might forget. So there are 3 vital phases to this whole process. Vital just means essential, very important. You've got the pre-wedding, during the wedding, and post-wedding. And that wedding planner is going to be involved in all of them. So before the wedding, what does the wedding planner do? They're responsible for planning and preparing the event. So that's probably the most important phase. Then the wedding happens. And of course, the planner is going to be there for that. So before the wedding, though, what you need to be focused on is managing the budget. The couple will tell you how much they can afford to spend. You're going to coordinate or organize with all the vendors. The food people are going to be different from the people who are providing entertainment. Those are all vendors. And then you're going to arrange rehearsals. There's the pre-wedding dinner. There are rehearsals that they might need to take care of. You're going to be arranging all of those things. When you have a rehearsal, you're going to rehearse or practice for some sort of event or performance. If you're a performer, for example, if you're an actor, you're going to have rehearsals on stage. And then once the performance happens, you stop rehearsing. So that's all part of the pre-wedding phase. And they also have to listen to all the different opinions on both sides of the couple. So you have to listen to the groom's family's opinions and to the bride's family's opinions. I've heard that you better listen to the bride the most, though.
Yeah, she's the one who can make the biggest scene if it doesn't work out for her. So, yeah, especially pay attention to her desires. After all, it is her special day.
They always say, yeah, the day is for the bride, not the groom.
She's the one in the gown. It's not the groom in that boring old tuxedo. She's got the beautiful gown and the diamond ring and stuff like that. And, of course, yes, you need to balance all those opinions to make sure everything's fair. And on the wedding day, they strictly oversee the proceedings, clarify roles, and sometimes even act as the host. So this is what they do. During the wedding, they oversee the proceedings. To oversee just means to monitor, to make sure everything's going okay. The proceedings just refers to what's going on, how it's proceeding, when the bride and groom enter the church or whatever, when they get to the altar, when they exchange the rings, etc., when they leave the church or whatever, or if they go to the courthouse or whatever for a wedding, that can happen there too. They also have to clarify roles. They need to make sure everybody knows what they're supposed to do. If you're the best man or the matron of honor, is that what that's called?
That's if she's married, but if you're the maid of honor, you're still single and you're kind of the bride's best friend.
Okay, and then the bridesmaids and the groomsmen and all that stuff, you have to make those roles all clear for everybody so they know what they're supposed to do. And you might even act as the host, the person who is basically directing the ceremony. And all of this is done to ensure every detail runs smoothly. You want a wedding to be as smooth as possible. You don't want it to be a big disaster.
Oh, no, that's right. So, moreover, the planner's job doesn't end with the wedding. So you've got the 3 phases: pre-wedding, during the wedding we just finished. Now there's the post-wedding or after the wedding happens. And that's when the wedding planner has to keep track of payments to vendors or partners to make sure all financial matters are settled. Oh, this is kind of a hassle if you can't get the money from the bride and the groom. They have to pay for everything first.
Right.
And then the wedding planner is going to be doling out or distributing the money to dole, D-O-L-E, just means to distribute the money to everybody and make sure everyone's happy because that wedding planner works with those vendors all the time. So if they don't get paid, they may never agree to work on another wedding for that particular wedding planner. Moving on to the final paragraph, the wedding planners are crucial for turning couples' dream weddings into reality. Crucial here, it's a great word. It can also be substituted with a synonym of vital, essential. It's crucial that you get to work on time because our boss might fire you if you do not. So crucial means very, very important.
Well, the meeting is very crucial. You better attend or else you could get fired or whatever. And so it's very important for the wedding planner because, hey, these people have fantasized about their wedding for a long time and they want to make sure everything goes smoothly. I wonder if they are involved in planning the honeymoon as well. I'm not quite sure about that. But
not usually.
Not usually. That would seem to be something up to the
That's the groom's
couple.
job.
Or the groom. Okay.
Yep.
Might depend on where you are. But if you're interested in pursuing this career, and it does sound kind of challenging and it might pay very well, how can you get started?
Oh, it can pay well.
I can imagine, too. Yeah, that's a big deal. So you better charge a lot for that because people are going to be very picky and very demanding. So you do deserve to get paid well for that.
Of course, the pay depends on the couple.
Right.
So if you're a wedding planner, try to get couples that have a lot of money.
Makes sense. Yeah, you don't want to be planning a wedding for some poor slobs or something like that.
On a shoestring, which means the budget is very small, so it's tough.
Or maybe if you're being nice, you'll give them a special deal.
Of course.
But if you're interested in pursuing this career, how can you get started? Well, firstly, you can explore courses offered by wedding consultant companies. So, yes, you can take courses. I don't think they offer them at university, but you need to look for these consultancies or a consultant company. If you're a consultant, you have expert knowledge on something, and people pay you to share that information with them. So you can find these consultant companies, and they can tell you what you need to do in order to pursue this career.
Okay, that's one option. You could also take a course. These courses that these wedding consultant companies offer provide valuable hands-on experience. So they actually have you get in there and actually get some experience. Hands-on means you actually do it. You're not just reading about it in a book or listening to a lecture. You probably are working on a wedding with another wedding planner to get some experience and industry expertise. Expertise just means you've got a lot of knowledge in something. Expertise, it can also be pronounced expertise, but they use the Z sound more than they do the S, but they're both common and okay. So just expert skill. So for a deeper understanding, if you want to find out about the theory and the practice of wedding planning, do you know you can actually take some university extension courses. These are courses for adults who aren't full-time students. They just pay an extra fee and take one class or something like that. Those are extension courses. We have those here in Taiwan. These programs typically offer, a broader knowledge base. They go into the details and maybe the history of this, and it helps you establish a solid professional foundation.
And furthermore, or in addition, there are easily accessible online courses in wedding planning, offering flexible learning at your own pace. So I'm sure lots of people have thought about that.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, you can learn online. Just sign up for a course and go through Zoom or whatever, and you can get some information that way. They've got flexible learning. You can take your classes according to your schedule, and you can learn at your own pace. And becoming a wedding planner is challenging, yet highly rewarding, as it allows you to play an important role in crafting or creating the most memorable moments in people's lives. That's probably why it can be rewarding, because you are helping the bride and the groom get off to a good start. They've only just begun, and you're helping them start their happy lives together and creating families and eventually being great contributors to society.
Yeah, it can be really great. Again, it's challenging but rewarding. It gives you a lot of satisfaction. So it's something to consider. Right now, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back to say goodbye.
接着我们就到了第二段啊。第二段一开始，第一句话就先给我们一个问题。我们说这个段落的一开始，第一句或第二句都会是主题句嘛。那这个第一句如果是主题句的话，我们就看看后面谈些什么，我们大家就可以选得出来了。好，我们在第二段特别注意第二句的3个字 before the wedding 一开始。好，接着我们跳到第二段第4句，逗点前面 on the wedding day。接着我们再跳一下到第6句 afterward， 在那之后，哪之后呢？当然就是 wedding day 之后了。言下之意，第二段应该就是在讲婚礼前干嘛，婚礼当天做什么，在那之后做什么。诶，这不就是我们答案 D 的选项吗？我们一开始在第一段的时候提到大家觉得婚礼好难哦，所以就要聘雇 wedding planners。 这些专家做什么呢？第二段婚礼前做什么，婚礼中做什么，婚礼之后又做什么，所以第二题应该是 D 的答案没有错。不过我们第二段还是要特别注意一下第3句，因为这个第3句感觉蛮长的。为什么很长呢？因为其实这一句话 是包含了3个受词。这第二段的第3句本来很单纯，就是这就包括了，哪就包括了？婚礼之前包括一些事情 ，This includes 包括什么呢？ Managing the budget 要管一下预算，逗点 Coordinating with vendors 还要协调一些这个供应商，逗点 Arranging rehearsals 还要安排一些这个彩排啊，甚至还要 Balancing the opinions and needs of the couples and their families， 还要把大家的这个意见啊需求啊都先平衡一下，所以算其实还是4个受词诶。所以为什么句子会这么长？有时候是因为有连接词把不同的子句连接起来，可能是关系子句、分词构句，有时候很单纯，就是它的受词很长。那接着我们就来看到第3段咯。第2段讲说婚礼顾问做了哪些事情，然后第3段要谈什么呢？第3段先看一下第1句这个地方。第1句他说啊，婚礼顾问其实就是把夫妻的梦想婚礼变成现实。第2句才是关键重点啊！有没有看到一个问句 ？How can you get started? If you're interested， 如果你有兴趣做这个职业的话，毕竟我们的文章就是 career， 就是一个职业的主题呀。到底要如何开始呢？我们如果要做一个专业的这个顾问，不管是婚礼顾问还是什么顾问，我们本身自己要有专业，然后可能要有丰富的经验，所以接着他会告诉你一步一步的步骤才能够达到这个婚礼顾问这个职业的需求。所以像在第3句的 firstly 就可以先框起来，我们跳一下哦。第7句的 furthermore 也可以框起来。有时候在看文章的时候啊，可以看一下它的转成词语，我们就会发现段落当中有时候会有不一样的细节出现。所以接着呢，我们就看到首先什么呢？首先你就可以看一下一些课程啊，有没有看到关键字？我们刚刚说的第3句 courses， 第4句 these courses， 这些课程就提供了不管是你实际的经验或者是业界的一些专业。然后呢，最后一面呢，我们看到了第4题。这个第4题，既然你已经是要进入这个职场了，连第4题前面这个，也就是第3段第5句的地方 University Extension Courses 都在讲课程，那它不刚好就呼应了我们答案 B These programs， 这些的课程就是可以给你有专业的基础，所以你才可以会有这个当这个婚礼顾问很坚实的 foundation 吗？所以呢，这篇文章啊，其实除了在介绍婚礼顾问到底要做些什么事，也提供了很具体的步骤。如果你想要成为婚礼顾问的话，到底可以做些什么事？希望大家都了解今天的文章咯。我是安娜，我们下次见。
That's all for today, everybody, and we wish you the best of luck if you choose a career in planning weddings, or if you're going to get married yourselves. Hopefully you'll live a long and happy life as a married couple with some really great children. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.